again, everybody. Welcome to the show. It is Monday. Monday. Can't trust that day at all. Hey, it's heading back to the window with Scott and Scott. I am half of that team. I am your host, Scott Steehn, lead handicapper at winnersandwhiners.com.
And I'm your co-host, Scott Reichel, senior handicapper over winnersandwhiners.com.
And together we do this show each and every day, 2 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, as we do our very best to help you head back to the window. Of course, don't forget to pound that like button, subscribe as well, rate, review if you check us out on podcast form, and of course, don't forget to check out our pals Jim Williams and Chris King, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time every day as they do their show, Just Parlays. So, yeah, if you don't like and subscribe, folks, there are going to be dire consequences. They're going to play another Pro Bowl every year. They're going to add another one. What a horrible game, Scott. Just horrific.
When was the last time you actually watched a Pro Bowl?
I watched a little bit of the first half yesterday, and I said, I can't fucking do that. I check it out every year to see if it's as bad as I think it is, and it's usually worse. So
I don't think I've put on a Pro Bowl in, I don't even know. It might actually be a decade. And I don't even mean like for a minute flipping channels. I mean, I've actually not turned the game on for probably a decade. The NBA All-Star Game I'll watch a little bit of.
Yeah.
Usually the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I watched when they changed it to the team captains and whatever, because the fourth quarter with that format seems to be at least somewhat competitive.
Mm-hmm.
The Pro Bowl, it's awful every year.
Yep.
Nobody cares. Can they move it back to Hawaii?
They had to condemn the stadium, Scott. So
No, I know. I'm saying, can we
they've got a little bit of a problem
stadium at some point?
You would think so.
When they fix the stadium in Hawaii, I know they're fixing Aloha Stadium, but when that gets fixed, are they moving it back to Hawaii?
I don't think so. I think it's going to continue to rotate. That's my guess. David the Italian.
I liked it better in Hawaii.
David the Italian voicing the opinion of most of America, saying the Pro Bowl was a joke. Made money thanks to T-Train. T-Train had the AFC plus the points. If you're going to bet it, you might as well bet the underdog and take the points. I'm fine with that. Under had been trending. Of course, would they have 3 turnovers for points in the first quarter? That's going to hurt.
I want to know who the genius was that had AFC defense as first touchdown score.
Yeah, very nice. Brad Crawford in the house. He called the cops Palo Alto. How the hell did Stanford beat Washington by 20 yesterday? We've only covered a 5.5 point spread once this year in the Pac-12.
See, I don't know how many 5.5 point spreads they were laying, but I do know that Washington sucks. So I can't say I'm totally surprised, because Stanford is a decent college basketball team. Probably not going to make the tournament, but they should make what, the NIT?
I would think so, yeah. I
think Washington's making nothing.
No.
So, yeah, that sounds about right.
Fair enough. David Donello wants to know if we are we fools to think that the Bulls have a shot tonight without Levine? Line is huge. All the money's coming in on the Suns. I get that. I get that. I get fading the public in that spot, but I can't get behind this Bulls team that's not playing that good right now, and they don't have Levine. So,
well, Levine's questionable. He hasn't officially been ruled out yet, so there is a chance that he could suit up. But they did play yesterday. DeRozan had 40-plus points. Actually, I was kind of harsh on Washington. I didn't realize they were 12-9. They might be an NIT team as well, so never mind. But I don't know. I feel like DeRozan dropping 43 last night should leave him somewhat tired.
Right.
But at the end of the day, Phoenix is a world beater. I mean, there's really not much else to say. They lost, one game in the span of a month and a half?
Yeah, they're really playing good basketball right now. It's not.
I mean, they crush everybody. So
Agreed.
Chicago's good at the United Center. They're a pretty solid team. But it's a second night of a back-to-back against a Suns team that is rested, is healthy. They were missing Ayton for most of that stretch. Now they got him back. Yeah, he, let's just say, is definitely a luxury at this point, because McGee was good and all the other big men were good. But that Suns team is so damn good.
Yep, high quality indeed. Eric Stiles says, LFG, I'm ready. I'm ready to start the week. Matthew Torvik saying, good morning to everybody, or happy Monday to everybody. Back at you. IC said, how about UCLA losing to Arizona State? I don't see UCLA doing much come tournament time. Yeah, I mean, every team has laid an egg this year. All the good teams.
I kind of have to reevaluate my thoughts on which teams so far I like for the tournament, because the two teams that I was kind of holding on to a little bit, one was UCLA, more of a dark horse because they were about 20-1 or whatever they were. The other one was Baylor. I got to throw them out. You can't lose to Kansas by 20-plus points. I know it's on the road, but this team just doesn't have it. I think that they're good enough to make a Sweet 16 or an Elite 8. I don't see Baylor as a Final Four team this year.
Nope.
I just don't think they have enough size in the interior. Gonzaga, I feel like I kind of have to put in my Final Four, even though they're beating up on the really weak teams in their conference. BYU's been falling apart. But Holmgren and Timmy are two really good big men.
Yep.
And they're going to dominate the boards in every game they're in. Am I going to pick them to win the title? No. But I do think they're a Final Four team.
James S. in the house had a great weekend. Hit Duke and Nova on Saturday. Hit Fort Wayne and Cleveland State on a Sunday. Excellent.
Do you have any thoughts on Gonzaga as a Final Four team? I know that we're both not going to pick.
Well, they usually have such an easy path. That's the thing. They're going to come out of their conference. They're going to get a 1 seed. So they're going to have the 2 games to start the tournament. They're guaranteed to make the second weekend just about every year.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you put them in that position where you've only got to win 2 games to get to the Final Four. It's hard to pick against them as a Final Four team, because they're obviously.
Plus, I don't know who the 2 is in their region, but with all the other teams being weak, it wouldn't surprise me if they go up against a random 7.
Yeah, agreed. Any thoughts on this Middle Tennessee game that the lines come down from 15 to 12.5? James Mouse checking in with that. I had that as my play of the day. Best team in the nation against the number Middle Tennessee State, Scott, by the way.
I know the title used to belong to Monmouth, but they've been on a bit of a cold streak at ATS.
They have. Brad Crawford said he's calling you out, buddy. Said the Huskies have improved this year and been a lot better.
Well, that's
you acknowledge that, yeah.
Yeah, I acknowledge it. I looked through it because I remember Washington was awful at a conference. I forgot that they were actually playing decently in the Pac-12. So yeah, they'll probably make it to the NIT as well.
Scott, generally this time of day, that kind of movement, I would say that's steam on UTSA. Are you behind the Roadrunners here? Are they overvaluing Middle Tennessee State because of their against the spread record? Is it just too hefty a number?
Well, truth is, I'm out of the loop on the injury report, which is always important.
I'm looking at it. Everybody's good. Everybody's
good.
Okay.
I'd say my main interest in that game would probably be the over. I do find the total move fascinating because UTSA is winless on the road. They're god awful on the highway. But I'm looking at the pace numbers here. Both teams ranked top 100. So I do think you'll see a higher scoring game. There has been some money on the over. My main play that I like in that game, I like the over. I think you'll see pace.
Okay. I took UTSA. I took Middle Tennessee State as a play, so I'm not going to come off of them.
Do you agree with the total though?
I think I'd lean over there as well. Yeah. T-Train in the house. IC says Timmy. Duke cuts down the nets. I don't doubt that. Of course, the real champion may
overreact to the North Carolina.
The real champion may get pissed off and chase them away, but
I think that Coach K is actually going to win a championship as a send-off. And I'm looking at the overall roster. Bonchero's good. Williams I really like. I think he's a good big man. Besides those 2 guys, though, do I like the rest of the supporting cast? And I feel like people are going to react to Duke because they're playing well recently. Of course, they got the name pedigree. It's possible that North Carolina just sucks. And it's not even possible. That's literally the case. They're just not very good at basketball. So I do think it's an impressive win because North Carolina was undefeated in Chapel Hill. But I feel like Duke can lose to anybody because they rely too much on 2-3 guys. Do you like Duke's bench?
I want to see what they do.
I don't.
I want to see what they do tonight against this Virginia team that just drags everybody down in the mud.
Well, I'm asking though, do you like Duke's bench? I don't.
Not at this point, no. If they get a little more experience,
I expect Bonchero or somebody at some point to get into foul trouble or to have a poor shooting night, or Bonchero to lose 10 pounds of sweat during a basketball game, and I think they'll lose. So I'm not picking them to win the thing. I think they'll make a run, but I just don't think they're deep enough for now.
I want to see what they do with Virginia tonight. I want to see how Gardner does on Banchero. That'll be interesting because he's a very good defensive player.
Duke better win the game because Virginia, despite being great at defense, just sucks at actually scoring. Virginia's useless. Yeah, I know they beat Notre Dame on the road. It was very impressive. The defensive showing in that game was impressive. I'm not saying Duke's a bad team. I'm just saying, A, the ACC is weaker than most people think, especially compared to usual years. Because the ACC, we'd agree, is not very good. And B, the question is, Magellan, do you trust the bench if somebody gets into foul trouble? I don't. So do I think that they're going to run the table in the tournament? It's possible, but I do think there are more complete teams out there.
T-Train's got Toronto over Charlotte as his play of the day.
I like Toronto.
I'm good with that. They've got time off. I think Charlotte's playing a back-to-back, right?
No, they lost to Miami. Was that yesterday?
Was it yesterday or Saturday? Yeah.
I know they got outscored 33-8 in the third quarter.
I don't like the way this team's playing at all. Magellan Sports likes the Philly schools, Drexel and Temple tonight. We're going to talk about this Temple game a little bit later. Drexel Dragons, Scott.
That whole conference is really just a crapshoot. By the way, I want to just quickly curse out Northeastern for winning a game. The game after we took them for the farm.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, guys.
You think our farm play record is impressive? Which is you should play our after the farm play, because the game after we lose on the farm with the team, guaranteed to hit. So
pretty much, yeah.
All right, let's start it off. Talk about the weekend's action. We'll find out the good news, the bad news, the people that took it in the shorts, and the people that took it to the bank. Scott, it is time once again for the Monday edition of Call the Cops. All right, we're going to start off in the NBA. This is a Sunday game. The Nets and the Nuggets. If you had the Nets, Nuggets.
I actually watched this game. I watched pretty much the entire second half, so it looked even worse in person.
There you go. Nets Nuggets over 228.5. They needed 31 points in the fourth quarter as they were sitting at, what would that be, 198 after 3? You got to think you're good, right, buddy? You weren't.
Yeah,
no.
I'd say so. You had about 140 points in the first half.
No. Oh yeah, that's when they had the massive first half. Put up 30 points in the fourth quarter. Thank you for nothing, boys. Game landed 228. If you had over 228.5, time to call the cops.
I feel like the Nets had one made field goal in the final 7 minutes.
It's a bad team, buddy. It's a bad team.
Yeah, they're not good. I said that weeks ago. They're not very good, whether Harden gets traded or not. But anyway, if you had UCLA and Arizona State under 131.5, you had 124 points in regulation. It's an even number, 62-62. And just for the hell of it, let's go to triple overtime.
Yeah.
Game landed 171.
You missed it by 40, you fucking idiots. What's the matter with you? God. I hate, there's nothing worse than that, man. Nothing worse than that. Finally, if, there we go. All right, there you go. Finally, if you had James Madison Hofstra under 154.5, once again, you had it capped correctly as they came in 12.5 points under for regulation. 71-71, you know how this story ends. You're thinking, I need 13 points in the extra period there. Maybe I got a shot. You didn't. They put up 21 points in overtime. The game landed 163. If you had the under 154.5, it's time to call the cops.
Yeah, overtime. It's not called undertime.
Nope. It isn't at all. So, the opposite of the people that were whining were the people that were winning. And these are the nice, easy victories. You know who you are. You had it all where you wanted it to be because you were sitting in the rocking chair, baby.
So, the first one on Saturday, if you had Gonzaga minus 13.5 against BYU, led by 24 at the half, and won by 33. BYU, full implosion right now.
Not good. They are 100% fadeable right now. If you had the KU Jayhawks on Saturday, minus 2.5 against the national champion, reigning national champion, Baylor Bears. No, you never had to sweat it. Kansas led by 18 at halftime, stretched it out in the second half, won by 24. Rock chalk if you had KU because you were sitting in the rocking chair.
And the last one on Saturday, if you had the Grizzlies minus 7.5 against the Magic, led by 20 points at halftime, and they won by 20.
Scott, I don't know what it is about drinking and driving in Vegas. It's apparently a thing that everybody has to do. And by the way, what happens in Vegas could follow you for the rest of your life on your record. Let's find out what the fuck we're talking about in today's edition of Donkey of the Day. Scott, take it away.
So for this one, we got to go to the Pro Bowl in this year's edition of Where's the Pro Bowl taking place, even though nobody cares about the game. Took place in Vegas this year, and we know that Vegas is a place where people do, let's just say, stupid things. And joining that list of people was Saints running back Alvin Kamara, who got arrested for battery over the weekend.
Oh, that's right.
Vegas.
It wasn't driving drunk. It's battery. That's right. I forgot about that. No, it wasn't driving drunk. It wasn't the obvious choice.
That was not confirmed or denied. So he was not driving, but yeah, he was accused and arrested of battery charges because he was there for an exhibition game. Nice.
Yep. D from Detroit says, since I asked, Citadel still an over team 2 games ago. Yep, they are right now.
I was a big fan of the over the weekend. Citadel, the truth is, the one game that I had them against Western Carolina, the first half was just atrocious. The second half had 80-something points. The Samford game I figured would fly over just because Stanford goes up tempo as well. But you have anything you want to add on Kamara besides the fact that I don't know how legitimate the charges actually are? I really don't know much about the details. It seems like everything's been kind of kept on the hush-hush right now.
Yep.
What's the suspension for that? Because the NFL just has
4 games. I
was going to say the NFL has the discipline, I'd say, wheel. You just spin it, and whatever comes out is what you're.
Well, here it is. Have you got tape? Have you got it on camera?
No, if you got camera, you got to add about 5 more games.
Oh, if it's on camera, it could be done for life.
Could be.
If he is not on camera, 4 games. That's the way.
They didn't say if he assaulted a man or a woman. I really don't know anything about.
I think it was his significant other. I thought I read that.
That's not ideal.
People go to Vegas and lose their minds. Absolutely correct, Magellan Sports. Absolutely fucking correct. You see people in Vegas just insane. I don't get it. Pro Bowl over was the easiest money of my life. Yeah, when you have 3 defensive scores first half, that helps a lot. It really does. Hey, what do you think about the 4th and 15 rule, Scott? Did you like that?
Instead of the onside kick?
Well, yeah, but they let them do it throughout the game.
I am fine with that because the XFL, I remember, the reboot XFL, was the first league to actually implement it. And I was a big fan of it.
I don't.
The onside kick is stupid based on the new rules because I was a big fan when you can stack one side, you have them decapitate each other,
right?
And the team actually has a decent chance to recover.
Let them get a running start.
Yeah, now you limit the running start. You only have X amount of people allowed on a side. The odds are...
Spoiler alert, it's 5.
No, I'm saying, the odds are what to recover an onside kick now? Like 6%?
Yeah, it's very, very, very low. Way less than 10%.
Like double digits?
Yeah, 12, 15%, somewhere in that neighborhood.
I remember that there was an SB Nation piece that was done a couple of years ago that actually compared the probability of 4th and 15 to an onside kick.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty close.
Yeah.
So I'm a fan of 4th and 15, but then you got to worry about some pass interference penalties and a bunch of nonsense there. But I really don't need to see more of the kicker.
I know that I know that when I was watching it yesterday in the first half, they were 0 for 9 on 4th and 15. I guess they'd had 9 opportunities to do that, and it didn't go well. So about the same as an onside kick. Texas or KU, Scott? You and I talked a little bit about that pre-show. We looked at as we were discussing our bet the farm possibilities. I've got Texas there catching the points. I've got Texas plus 1.5.
I agree.
At home. Obaji's back. But this KU thought they were able to solve their point guard problem, bringing in Remy Martin, and he has not been the answer.
I don't think he's a point guard. I think he just wants to shoot the ball the majority.
Well, that's true too. But KU has really seen a drop in their offensive numbers in the last month. They've dropped 14 points per game as far as 100 possessions. So that's not good. That is a precipitous drop. I think the Longhorns, you got to ask how they're going to hold up against McCormick and company. I think they do good. Carr's been turning the ball over less for Texas. I'll take the Longhorns and their excellent defense there. I would lean towards the under 132 as well.
I'm going on Texas based on principle. I'm just looking at a spot where Kansas, we mentioned in the rocking chair, they had a great home win. They played basically a flawless game against Baylor. I think you agree with that. They dominated from start to finish. It's a really good letdown spot for Kansas after
it's perfect. It's a road.
You destroy Baylor.
Yep.
Now you're traveling on the road to a hostile environment against a team that's going to grind you to a pulp.
Yep.
Is Texas a good offensive team?
Absolutely not.
Really.
No.
But defensively, they will make this a war. I like the under. I think one of these teams does not get the 60.
Absolutely.
Potentially both. So I like the under in this game, but I do think that Texas makes it a grind, and I think that they are very live to win the game.
James S. says maybe Kamara was arrested for having a sorry-ass season. That was my first question, because we were talking about this story before the show, and I said, was Kamara in the Pro Bowl? How the fuck did that happen? And then I remembered Frank Clark was in the Pro Bowl for the Chiefs. Like, okay, well, the Pro Bowl means nothing then. Yeah. If you have to make sure when you're looking at accolades for players that you separate all pro from Pro Bowl. There is a massive fucking difference.
Well, same thing with the NBA. I always separate all-star appearances from all NBA teams.
Absolutely. Oh, the assault is against a man. Okay, there you go. All right. Thanks, Magellan. Nathan Cerna says Rock Chalk Jayhawks. Fuck. Yeah, it is called Sin City. Yep. Pro Bowl defense was legit. Yeah, they stood in their way a lot. You know, I'm torn on the Pro Bowl because it makes for a horrible product. It's just awful.
What are you supposed to do?
But that's exactly the question. What do you want to see? You want to see fucking Ray Fosse? You want to see somebody get run over in the Pro Bowl and get injured and not be able to play next season?
The only thing I could think of that would maybe incentivize the players to try more, you just got to you got to up the pay. So I do think that either for bonuses, maybe if you want to throw in some like accolades or throw in some, I don't want to say Pro Bowl, like in Pro Bowl deals in your contract, but can we increase the prize money? Can you give like everybody on the winning team like $2 million?
No, you can't.
I'm just trying to think of something to do to make it more competitive.
Worst All-Star game of the Big Four, no question.
No, it is, but I'm trying to think of what you should do. I heard the idea of maybe making a 7-on-7 tournament, which is kind of like what the NHL did,
right?
For 3-on-3. I haven't watched the NHL one either, but at least they tried something new.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm okay with the 7-on-7 tournament idea because, 11-on-11 is not working, so you might as well try something gimmicky.
Yeah, just throw the fucking ball. That's what you're going to do anyway. Just do it.
Or just get rid of tackling and just have them actually play with flags around them so we know exactly what we're dealing with.
I don't hate that either. I just don't. J.C. Stone, Arizona State plus 14 against Arizona. Thought from Arizona hater Scott Jr. We both like the Sun Devils in this spot, right?
I think it's too many points.
Yeah.
Now, Arizona, it's not even a matter of being a hater because I do acknowledge they're a good team. But against USC over the weekend, I thought they looked fine. Would you agree with that? I didn't think they looked amazing, but they were okay.
They were fine.
But Arizona State had a nice win against UCLA. It's another night game against an in-state rival with the home crowd. It seems like a very good spot for the home crowd to really just provide a spark for Arizona State. This team is okay. Arizona State's not going to make a tournament. They're not going to probably make the NIT or anything like that. But they are a very good free-throw shooting team.
Yep.
So I do think that late in games they could close. And Arizona, I do think, plays with its food a little bit, which is why I'm a little bit out on Arizona. They just don't seem to have the full killer instinct that I expect from a fringe top 3, top 5 team in the country. But I do think it's too many points to take with a home dog that just beat UCLA. I'm going to go with Arizona State plus the points. You?
I'm with you. Too many points.
I think if the line was closer to 7 or 6.5,
yeah,
I'd be all over Arizona.
Sure.
But double digits in this type of game where 12, you're also out of last-second scramble free throw points. That's usually around like 8 or 9. So you have that insurance built in. I think Arizona's going to win. I think they'll win by 8.
Yeah, I think that sounds right. You get a little scramble points at the end.
Yeah,
maybe,
a little scramble,
maybe
but not
10.
enough to get over 12.
I like Arizona first half tonight, says Edwin Adams. I don't hate that. That's not awful. If you want to play Arizona, I would advise that. STM Network said merge the Pro Bowl and the Clash in L.A. Did you watch the Clash in L.A., Scott?
I watched none of it. I saw one qualifying lap, and each lap took about 5 seconds and said, I don't even know what we're doing.
Very entertaining. Very entertaining. Quarter mile was the track. Quarter mile.
How many laps were there?
The main event was 150.
What'd that take, 20 minutes?
Yeah, they were running probably 10, 12-second laps, something like that.
Okay.
It was bizarre. But it was a lot of fun for somebody that really enjoys short track racing. It was cool to see. A lot of bumping, and a lot of pissed off people. Have the NFL drivers drive stock cars while the drivers play touch football. Fuck, why not? I'd be into that. Any fatigue?
I don't know if I trust NFL players to stay sober when they drive. I think that's the only problem.
Any fatigue factor with 3 overtimes? Fuck, I'd hope not.
It could be. I mean,
but
that's
it's possible.
Thing, though. But on principle, I'm not laying 12 in a rivalry game against. I mean, I'm not going to take a road team laying double digits in a rivalry game. I'm just not doing it.
Okay. Thoughts on Virginia versus Duke? I've got
Duke really should bury them.
Yeah.
But Virginia always keeps it close with this team.
Got that down to 11 now?
Yeah.
11.5. Yeah, it's dropped.
That's usually how it goes. Of course, Virginia's usually either the best team in the ACC or, worst case, like top 2, top 3. But
not this year.
Virginia always is a pain in the ass for Duke to handle. So I do think that Duke, after beating North Carolina so handily, I'm not going to compare it exactly to the Kansas game because Texas is a lot better than Virginia this year. It seems like a very good letdown spot for Duke. So I'm going to go with Virginia. You just beat North Carolina by the biggest margin on the road since, I don't know, like 2004?
Yep.
For Coach K, I think. You're probably feeling very good about yourselves. Virginia's a team that's going to make it really difficult to score. Give me the under and give me Virginia.
Okay.
You?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm the same way. I think it's too many points. I think Virginia can get there. Somebody said that J.C. Stone said NASCAR should refund the money to the poor folks who paid for that nonsense. Dude, it's a short track. It's a bull ring. It's hometown racing.
Call it a track. A quarter mile's a joke.
It's the shortest track they've run on since 1971. By the way, they used to run quarter mile every year.
They might as well just go to Fast and Furious 5 and just.
It's a different.
Just drag race in the street.
It's a different kind of racing, man. It's a different product, and it's a different product than people are used to seeing from NASCAR. No question. J.R. Black, being very polite. Thoughts, please. Okay, we'll do this. Wilmington, Hofstra, Virginia, Duke, and Greensboro, West Carolina. Okay, we just covered Duke. This Greensboro team, Scott, Western Carolina. I love this kid. I love Buckingham, man. Shooting 43% from downtown. Shoots 49% from distance on the road. This is a Western Carolina team that wasn't good to start with, and they lost Travion McCray. Mid-season, he just fucking was out there. This is going to be about who can impose their will because Greensboro wants to go slow and slower. Western Carolina wants to speed you up. I got Greensboro here, and I'm leaning towards the over. You?
Greensboro kicked my ass the other day against VMI.
Yep.
But I think it's a good spot for Greensboro. They had a nice win over the weekend against, I want to say, Furman.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a nice win for them. I don't think Western Carolina is very good.
No.
They have been better at home, but I do think, obviously, the story of this matchup is going to be the 3-point battle, because even though Greensboro defensively is elite, because of their defensive scheme, they allow, I forgot if it was the 5th most 3-point attempts per game. It's definitely like top 10 or bottom 10 in this case. They give up a bunch of 3-point attempts. So Western Carolina can actually shoot from the outside well. I think they'll win the game.
Okay. All right. You're off of Wilmington, huh?
You're
off of Greensboro.
No, I'm still taking Greensboro. I think they're going to win the game. I'm saying if you want to know how VMI is going to win, or you want an early indication.
Western Carolina.
Yeah, keep an eye on Western Carolina's 3-point percentage early on.
Okay. Wilmington and Hofstra is the last one. This is a Wilmington team, Scott, that's covered all but once in conference play.
Oh, I wonder who had them when they didn't cover. Well, it was both of us, I think.
Keep them off the line. It was both of us. I had a premium. You had your play of the day on it.
E-line. Get that crap out of here.
Sims is still the shit for Wilmington.
Yeah, he's good.
You're going to give me 6.5 points. I gotta take that. Are you impressed with how Hofstra's been playing lately?
They've been okay. I can't say they've been as impressive as Wilmington's been. I mean, Hofstra covered over the weekend, or I forgot if they covered or they were a half point short. They went to overtime. They almost lost to James Madison.
Yeah, they were half point short
against this Hofstra team.
Against Madison. Yeah, they failed to cover 3 straight, starting with that one where they played at Wilmington and got beat by 6.
Yeah.
I like the over in that game, but
yeah, I like the over too. But they did play a little while ago. Wilmington won. Hofstra is not a good rebounding team at all. I think Wilmington can dominate on the glass, but Hofstra lost 2 in a row, and they beat James Madison at home in overtime. I'm really confused why they're favored by 6 or why they opened up at around 7.5. I'm actually really confused by it. I'll take Wilmington.
Yep, all day. Can't have NFL players driving. Someone commit vehicular manslaughter.
That was what I was saying. I don't trust them to stay sober when they drive.
Well, speaking of vehicular manslaughter, they had Tony Stewart in the booth yesterday.
Nice.
Oh, man. I was such a huge Tony Stewart fan, dude. And then the way that happened there, that thing that happened at the end of his career, that was just fucking brutal.
I'll never look at Home Depot again.
Oh, man.
I was never a big Tony Stewart guy. I was always more of a Jeff Gordon guy. But
there's 2 kind of people, Scott. There's Jeff Gordon people and there's Tony Stewart people. That's exactly
Matthew
right.
asking us if we ever bet on NASCAR. Well, we got news for you. During the pandemic, we had a NASCAR show every week. And I believe we did very well.
Yeah, we were all 3. We had 3 of us on there. We were all 3 positive. We did our contest every week where we'd pick like 1 favorite, 1 mid, and 1 big dog. And
I think we had 2 favorites in one.
Was that the deal? Okay.
I think it was 2 favorites and 1 long shot. But we still have to have a conversation if we're going to bring it back for this season. But I'm not against it.
We'll see what happens with the baseball strike.
Yeah, we'll see.
It could very well be happening.
The OG fans remember the NASCAR show.
That's right.
A lot of fun.
Mr. Walker telling us thanks very much as far as Chris King as well. We appreciate it, man. When we love what we do. The NASCAR race was garbage. Zach Vaughn checking in. See, I thought everybody would like it because there was a lot of bumping and banging. I love short track shit. I love Martinsville. I love Bristol. The quarter mile, you could argue that it was just too little track, but for the power of today's cars. But I liked it. I thought it was fun. Fuck it. I like putting them in unusual places.
I'm not interested because everyone's just waiting for Daytona. I mean, you can just fill in the schedule with a bunch of random gimmicky stuff.
I'd rather see, I'd put it this way, I'd rather see the Clash there than at Daytona, where everybody just fucking runs wide open and runs in a line.
Can we put it in Talladega and just see a bunch of people go flying?
Well, you're gonna have it there. Yeah. Little known face, retired. Oh, you retired 32 years as a NASCAR official. That's very cool. We had a friend of ours that did that here at the track in Kansas City too. I think that's a cool job. They used to run at Islip at a fifth of a mile. Jesus, that's a bull ring right there.
Okay.
I think top speed. Somebody asked about that. I think top speed was 90. I think they were able to get 90 going down the straight, which wasn't. I think they averaged about 60. And the straightaway wasn't even a straightaway. It was like a curve. It was like a little bit of a concave thing. So
the only thing going 90 was my finger hitting the button to change the channel.
Their defensive Steehn. What? I don't understand. I don't understand the question. By the way, happy birthday to STM Network. Turned 25 yesterday. Nicely done, sir.
We need a system hockey birthday play.
Hey, we got one. How about the big matchup tonight between Toronto and Carolina? Both teams are red hot.
I'm guessing, well, let me guess. Toronto in the over.
He wants to know who we like. Who do you like there, buddy? Got a thought?
Who do I like?
Yeah.
It's a really tough matchup because both teams have been playing well. They're both really good. Toronto's been cooking offensively, which they should when you have that good of a core. They finally have a great goalie in Campbell. Both teams are really good, whether it's on the road or at home. But I'm going to go with Toronto because Toronto has scored at least 6 goals in each of the last 3 games. Now, it was against Detroit and New Jersey twice, which is just handing out free goals. But they've won 5 in a row. They're playing well. I'll go with Toronto in the over if I had to put a parlay together, whatever.
I like that, and I'm sure the kid will be dropping one of those a little bit later.
He did. He said he agrees with me. He's got Toronto in the over.
There you go. Gerald, we talked about that Texas. We like the under there. We think one of those teams does not get to 60, maybe both. So talk about betting on NASCAR. I love the matchups, man. I have a friend of mine that just fucking makes bank doing nothing. And where he really makes bank is betting in the I don't know, what's the secondary series? It's no longer the Busch series. It's
the Infinity.
Is that Infinity now? Infinity?
Xfinity?
Yeah,
it's the Xfinity series.
So that's where he he finds the most inefficiencies in the market is doing those matchups.
Is he betting on Joe Gibbs's grandson to win a bunch of races?
I don't know.
I think he's done well.
I'm
trying to remember what I used to do for NASCAR. The matchups I know we crushed.
Yep. You love the manufacturer. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my favorite. I made a lot of money on the manufacturer prop.
Brad Crawford said I found the college basketball lock of the year. Eastern Illinois plus 13.5 over Tennessee Tech. I backed Eastern Illinois last time. The game ended up getting canceled. I don't hate it. They've been playing better defense. They're grinding teams down to dust again.
Tennessee Tech should only be favored by this amount of points against Mississippi Valley. Like, this is too many points.
Who do you bet on NASCAR? Matchups. It's not like horse racing. You can't take win place and show.
Your son was asking how comparable it is between NASCAR and horse racing because it's a lot of just chance. I disagree. I think NASCAR, you usually get a better gauge on it because you know which drivers or which teams excel at certain tracks. There's a huge body of work that you can work with where you know that if most of the cars are supposed to be, I say relatively even based on the teams, of course you know that they're going to be bottom feeder teams that are automatically 5 laps behind by lap 20. But for most of them, there's usually a large body of work when it comes to their history on the track and how good certain teams do on tracks. I don't think it's as random as people think.
Oh, no, I agree.
Horse racing, I think, is completely random.
How much stock do you put in college hoops strength of schedule as far as handicapping the tournament? I see Wisconsin and Alabama like 20-1 for the Final Four. Both have heavy strength of schedules. Strength of schedule really just comes into play for me if it's a team that's looking like they could be or could be relegated to the bubble. If you've got teams that are going to make it, like Alabama and Wisconsin, that are pretty much a shoe-in to make the tournament, I actually like strength of schedule. I like teams that have played a tougher schedule that are a little more battle-tested. You, Scott?
I feel the same way, but you can always make the argument that would you rather have a team that is a little bit worn down from such a heavy schedule, or would you rather have a team that had an easy road but also didn't have to go through many wars? Yeah. I feel like I'd rather have the team that has had to prove itself against elite competition.
Right.
But some people would disagree.
I agree. Joshua Chapman said, through a couple of picks Chris had on parlays the other day with some of mine, cashed 5 tickets for $1,200, then won $3,500 in the casino on my book the other day. Was very happy guy. Excellent. Those are the kind of stories we like to hear for sure. They averaged.
Jennifer asking about women's Olympic hockey. It's either Canada or the U.S.
Yep.
And if you want to bet on any individual game, if the spread's lower than maybe 4.5 goals, you might want to take it because the U.S. and Canada are just beating every team by about 7. Yeah. So it's not even close. It's just a 2-horse race. You can bet Canada to win, bet U.S. to win. Hell, lay whatever number you want, put whatever you want. That's going to be the gold medal match. It is the case every single year.
James S. talking about where they parked the trailers or the haulers for the NASCAR race. That was a great question because it wasn't in the infield. They usually have it in the infield. Even at Bristol, the half-mile track, they've got them in the fucking infield. They had no pits set up as far as like moving pit stops. They had areas where you could work on your car, but they didn't have any actual pits. It was a weird setup. Even like as the race, they had to have them parked on the outside because there wasn't enough room on the inside.
James, there's not even much research about the women's. It's just a fact. The U.S. plays Canada in the women's gold medal hockey match pretty much every Winter Olympics, and no other team in the world is close. It's just those two teams and everybody else. Just look at the scores. They're not even close.
Jennifer wants to know Middle Tennessee State. We haven't talked about Charlotte. We will talk about Temple.
I found that Charlotte matchup tricky because Florida International is a team that is very good at home.
Mm-hmm.
They're inconsistent. I think Charlotte's the better basketball team, but Florida International favored at home. I like the under. I think you're going to see a low-scoring game. We know Charlotte definitely loves to eat a bunch of clock. So I think you'll see a pretty low-scoring game take place there. Charlotte ranks 270th in offensive tempo. Florida International is a team that is also a bit slow, ranks 229. My favorite play is on the under. I think you'll see a low-scoring game there.
I'm the other way. I like FIU, but I also like the over.
Really?
Yeah, this is a Charlotte defense that's kind of been leaking oil lately, and I think this Florida national team that can shoot from three, especially at home, they've seen the over cash 5 straight of their games. I like the over. I think we're getting a good number there. Brad Crawford roasted my kid. Thanks, Brad. I get tired. I get tired.
Get away with it.
I get tired of doing it all the time. Oh, Lo Maximo asked this earlier, and I missed it. It was Northern Arizona, Northern Colorado. This game fucked me on Saturday as I had the over. Northern Colorado had been a monster over team, and had a shot to get the miracle cover in overtime. We didn't quite get there as Northern Colorado picked that time to drain about a 30-footer at the buzzer. But Northern Colorado.
I think Northern Arizona is just a terrible basketball team.
They are, and they're a dead under team. They're one of the best under teams around, and they were leading for much of this game as they gave Northern Colorado all they wanted. I like this Northern Colorado team a lot, but Northern Arizona has been very good at home. Is this going to be? I can't remember where who had the home game. I think Arizona had the home game.
Well, Northern Colorado is the home team for this game.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Northern Colorado is the home team here. I got to take the Bears.
I agree.
I'm
just not sure Northern Arizona can actually score enough to keep close.
No, that's the question. And as far as the total goes, I'm off of them, but I'd still lean over with Northern Colorado.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat.
All right, Kansas money line. We both like Texas there, so. How can Pittsburgh not cover 13 against Virginia Tech?
Because Pittsburgh sucks.
They are terrible.
Virginia Tech's a team that's not very good, but they have been playing even a little bit better over the last couple of weeks. So I do think that you will see Virginia Tech, I don't want to say become relevant in the ACC. I think they'll make a bubble push.
I think it's entirely possible. ACC's definitely having a down year this season. It's got something else I was looking at. I was looking at Southern minus 10.5. That's a hell of a basketball team.
They're good in their conference.
Oh, they can fucking shoot the ball too. They play excellent defense. They shoot well from distance, and they play pretty good regular defense, and they play absolute shutdown defense as far as the 3-pointers go. I like them. Alabama State. Both of these teams have covered the number a shit ton. I like Southern here tonight.
I'd look for them too. Tony, I would take the Kemba under, but he's been ruled out.
Yep.
So we weren't able to actually take it.
That would be great if the Chris King show was on early. I think they've got it that late so he can do all of his research with the line moves. That's my only suggestion. That's my only thought there.
D asking if there's a path for Michigan to make the tournament if they don't win the Big Ten tournament. No,
I don't think so.
At this point, hell, they might not even finish above 500. You kind of need to win the tournament. They don't have any statement wins. Every step-up game that they've had, they've lost. Like, who have they beaten? They beat nobody. You need to win the conference tournament.
James Miner making his case for Temple. I think I
think Temple's the better team. I think South Florida sucks.
Yep,
but
they do.
We're gonna get to that game in a little bit.
We are. We're gonna get to it right now. As a matter of fact, buddy. STM Network says he's looking for his tractor keys. There you go. It's time. It's time. Hope you guys all have your overalls ready to put on. We're ready to do it. Scott, are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's put on our overalls. Let's grab our straw hats. It's Monday. Let's look nice. Put on the good overalls. Climb aboard our John Deere. Get those keys out, the ones with the lucky rabbit foot, and fire that motherfucker up. Because once again, kids, it's time. It's the first one of the week. It's Monday. It's time to bet the farm. All right, Scott, we did have a Bet the Farm play for Friday night, and how did that work out?
We ended up having Akron minus, I believe it was 7, and they won by double digits.
Cue them zippy banjos! Yeehaw! All right. Oh, you almost got it today, bud. Nice job.
No, almost.
All right, here we go. It is once again Bet the Farm, so let's get to it. It's me today. Oh, that's right. Okay, so we've got a little play from the Temple, South Florida game. A lot of people asking about that game. We're going to play the total, guys. We're going to play under 124.5. A couple of reasons. South Florida ranks 78th in defensive efficiency. According to Ken Palm, Temple ranks 84th. Both of them play very, very good defense. As far as the offense goes, that's a different story. South Florida, 344th in offensive efficiency. I believe somebody was talking about that a little bit earlier. Temple, 181st. Not ideal. Still bottom half. South Florida, they go slow, and slower. They rank 312th in offensive tempo. According to Ken Palm, Temple, 166. And
supposed to actually say 266.
Oh, 266. Well, there you go. All right. Fair enough. Even better. And how do they perform? Well, here you go. The under is 9-1-1 in Temple's last 11. And it's 16-5 in South Florida's last 21. Those are called trends, kids. We like them. Make sure that you get down on that one because that is our Bet the Farm play. It is going to be Temple. It is going to be South Florida. It is going to be under 124.5. That's going to do it for Bet the Farm. It's going to do it for for our show for today. Of course, don't forget to check out all the great deals with our partners. I was so excited about all the information we had on Monday. Totally forgot to do the ad read. We got great deals going with Caesars, with MGM, and with Bet Rivers down in Louisiana. All those codes and information are in the show box. Make sure you stop and check that out, of course.
We dare you to go there.
We dare you to go there. And we've got a big week coming up. As always, we're finishing up in styles. We're going to do our NFL prop show on Wednesday, right after our regular show. We're going to do our NFL preview show for the Super Bowl on Friday, right after the regular show. And a little special crossover event we got going with the boys from Just Parlays. We're going to do an all-hands-on-deck show on Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, 12 p.m. Eastern time for a couple hours. We'll have some guests on. It'll be a lot of fun. We'll have a lot of guys from Winners and Winers stop by to lend their opinion. So be there for all of them. That's all we ask. Just show up for everything, all right? You guys have a great day. As always, thanks for being here. Wish you nothing but the best on all of your plays today. Every one of those tickets in your pocket turns into cash money when you head back to the window. You guys take care. Come back to see us tomorrow because we'll fire it up again, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, as Scott and I once again attempt to help you to head back to the window. Take care, everybody. We'll see you then.